Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
We thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Decide a different league, I'm coming. I'm flat out coming.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. Got a lot going on right now in the world of sports. We have a national championship game over in men's college basketball. We got the Michigan State Wolverines over the UConn Huskies 33-29 at half. We'll see how the rest of that game goes. Man, but we got a lot to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But first, let me go ahead and bring everybody on. Let me go ahead and bring on my co-host. This man has forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. Seven, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. You know, I don't think I've said this enough recently, Will, and I just want to make sure you know.
What?
Fuck the Yankees.
I agree. Oh my goodness. And next up, we have this gentleman, Mr. Endo. Mr. Endo, what's up?
I just got to let you guys know, I did drop the Mr. for this portion of the show. I don't know why, just Mr. sounded too formal. And after the two really good bits of good news I got today, do you guys want to hear this? I'm sure you guys have. I know I put it in the podcast chat already. First off, Angel Reese got traded for 2 first-round picks from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream. But just like everything else, she shot short. She will officially make it to Atlanta sometime later this week. She'll rebound herself. She'll get into there. She'll be fine. But more importantly, the Bulls. Good fucking God, it's about time cleaning house. However, and we'll probably talk more about this later in the show, but Mike Malone did get the job at North Carolina, so it is not Billy Donovan. According to a news outlet, I guess Billy Donovan is up for contract negotiations with Jerry and Michael Reinsdorf at the end of the season. So I don't know how we feel about that.
Man, I was hoping Donovan was going to be gone.
I was hoping. I was really hoping, but that's not going to happen.
This is you have to accept the truth here. The Bulls are the New Orleans Saints of the NBA. And they are looking past the results.
They have to have results to look past.
Exactly.
Bad results are results.
No, we want results. We don't want bad results.
Hey, P. Will as your MVP for the season.
Oh, good God! Don't even, sir. Don't even. Don't even. No.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. Yeah, we got a lot to cover, but the first thing I want to cover, UCLA dominates South Carolina, y'all. Second year in a row, South Carolina loses in the championship game. Let me get y'all's thoughts about this.
Seven, I'll let you start, man.
I think that UCLA came ready to play, and especially when you look at the fact that they had 11 more points just in the first quarter. UCLA came out really, really strong. And I think that their size advantage helped. I think that there was a lot of things that were in UCLA's favor. I will not ever I will not disparage the coaching of Dawn Staley. I still stand by the fact that I think she should be who's coaching the U.S. men's national team for basketball in the Olympics. I still believe that firmly, but unfortunately, they did not have what they needed to get things done, and UCLA just controlled it from beginning to end.
In agreement, absolutely in agreement. There were a lot of people that were saying if UConn made it to the championship game, that it was UCLA that was going to beat them. And I think from top to bottom, I think UCLA had the best team in women's college basketball between Betts. I always forget the name of that guard that shoots really well. Between those two people, I think they were the best 1-2 tandem in women's basketball. I really think this game got overshadowed by what happened at the end of the UConn South Carolina game between Gene and Dawn. First off, Gene, you know better. You know better. I'm glad he came out and publicly apologized. It's still a Bush League move, and he should know better. That being said, hell of a game. I'm glad the coaches, Dawn Staley and the coach of UCLA, kind of got together mid-court to start the game. Otherwise, hell of a game. Hell of a game.
Are we looking? How can I say this? Are we judging Dawn a little bit differently now that she's lost these 2 championship games, or should we expect more next season from her?
I would say that I'm not. And the reason why I say that is first of all, I understand the difficulty of getting to a national championship game twice, especially in a tournament format the way that they have, where you're playing in, courts that aren't yours, facilities that aren't yours, and everybody is, but you're going through all of these things and you still manage to make it. It's a very difficult thing to do. And I also see the way that she coaches, and I'm a mechanic that has all power tools. Everything is brand new. Everything is warranted. Those tools are going to work a lot better than somebody that has a lower quality tool chest at their disposal.
Right.
And, you get broken tools that don't work, tools that just, you just have missing tools you need. I can't fault her for that. I think that she does need to work on recruiting a little better. I think that they need to be a little bit more aggressive with some of those things. And I think that she needs to lean on the NIL collectives to actually fix some, to actually put some money into this so that they can actually get the missing pieces that they need, because even in the women's game, size is still an advantage. And when you have a smaller team, 1 through 5, you're going to be at a disadvantage. And Dawn needs more tools to be able to enable that, I feel like. And in the modern college sports game where money talks, it's going to be a lot easier to motivate some of those top actual, full WNBA size recruits to come play for her if she has the financial backing to actually incentivize. It's just like signing free agents in the NBA. Do you have the money to pay the guy that you want or not?
Facts.
The Bulls don't. Well, now we do. We didn't. I'm gonna counter. I think South Carolina has been in this position. I think they'll be back. I think Dawn Staley is one of the definitely top 2. I think you could argue maybe top 3 coaches in women's basketball. Yeah. It's kind of that same dynamic shift that we saw with Pat Summitt when Gino came onto the scene in the 90s and early 2000s. I think South Carolina is kind of a brand name, and I don't think women's college basketball will go without the Gamecocks being in the women's tournament. I think because of who Dawn Staley is as I'm probably going to get some hate for this, for a mastermind of the game that Dawn Staley is. I think Dawn Staley brings a lot to the table. The four number one teams, Texas, UCLA, UConn, and South Carolina, all made it, right? Can't say we've seen that for the men's in like the last 5 years. I think the last time that we saw it was before COVID, that we saw all of our number one seeds make it. Women's basketball, I think, to an extent, has that hierarchy made. And a lot of it has to do with coaching. We saw the coaching for UCLA. Like, I mean, they only lost one game this entire year. UCLA's women's basketball team did. And that is not just the standard of the players that they have, but the coaching, right? We say it all the time on the show that coaching makes a difference in college basketball. And I am trying to pull up the coach's name right now. Give me just a second, because she deserves to be talked about. Corey Close, that's who it is. But Coach Close, she had her team dialed up. But I think you don't get yourself in that position like Dawn Staley did if your team isn't ready to play, right? You could argue that South Carolina having to take on Carolina put them in a position to be in the national championship. And I would have put South Carolina to put up a better fight. I really don't know what happened with South Carolina in that game against UCLA. I think a lot of it had to do with bad shot selection. They were 2 for 13 on 3-point shots, 2 for 15. UCLA was 8 for 19. UCLA also hit 11 of their 13 free throws, which is good. South Carolina shot more. They shot 17, but they only made 13. They also got out rebounded by 12 rebounds. So, Seven's kind of right. Actually, not kind of. You are right that size still matters in the game of basketball. But I was entertained. I wish it would have been a closer game, but I was entertained.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think both teams will definitely be back. That's for sure. Let me see. Oh, wow. Now, he was in Puerto Rico, and his flight is delayed until 5/8.
Jeez.
Bro, yeah, he's in Puerto Rico. He's stuck in Puerto Rico.
There are worse places you could be stuck at.
I mean, that's true. I wanted to point this out before we move on. If you look at the top 5 scores
Happy birthday.
for UCLA.
Happy birthday.
You look at the top 5 scores for UCLA. Every single one of them is 6 foot or above. Now we flip that over to South Carolina. You've got 2 that are under 5'10".
Hey, Jerry.
What's up, Jerry? And so it's not that South Carolina doesn't have talent, but South Carolina needs to make sure that they have and use the resources to bring in talent with size. Don't just, and that's the thing. And I know, honestly, when you're looking to increase size and you're looking at the pool of female athletes that statistically tend to be shorter, that's a much more difficult thing. So you've got to make sure you're on a level playing field with those top programs like UCLA, like Texas, like UConn, stuff like that, and get yourself into position to be competitive with those players in the transfer portal and those players that you're recruiting. But there was a decisive disadvantage there. And Kiki Rice is 5'11".
Yeah, dude. 3 players on that UCLA team are less than 6 feet, and that's 5'10", 5'10", and 5'11".
That's it, exactly, and that's just a decisive size advantage. And she needs to realize in the recruiting that they need to look for that with a little bit more intention. I know it's difficult, but it's an important piece that's going to help them expand. Because when you get into there, you look at Texas. Texas is the same way. They've got some size. UConn has some taller girls. You've got to be more intentional about that because it does give you an advantage.
Especially when you can play on the wings, like the way UCLA played on the wings. Dawn was playing like she can tire those girls out, those big girls out, that didn't come to happen. That didn't come to fruition.
Especially early in the game.
Yeah, you can't. All right, the game is back going again. Michigan is up 35-31 over UConn. National championship game for the men. Oh my goodness. Who do you guys have winning this game?
My bracket says UConn, but after the way Michigan beat up on Arizona, I'm kind of torn. I did not expect Arizona to get beat the way that they got beat.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I mean, you look at Michigan, they have a better record, and they've been a lot more consistent with scoring, especially like it seems like as the tournament has gone on, the scoring has just become more intense, and you know the shots are just falling for these guys, and so for me, like, yeah, gotta be. I like UConn, but I feel like this is going to be Michigan's game to lose.
Oh yeah. I think so. I got a sheet. I got a bunch of sheets left with Michigan. I got a couple with UConn, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right.
So
let's move on.
Fun fact about Michigan: Michigan in this entire tournament has not had a game closer than 13. 13 points, I think, is their closest game, and that was against Alabama in the Sweet 16. They beat Howard by 21. They beat St. Louis by 23. They beat Tennessee by 33. And then they beat Arizona. Okay, so 12. I apologize. 12 is the closest one against Arizona. But when you play an entire tournament by double digits, I mean, it's kind of hard for you to say that you're playing bad basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would even add on to that. That shows that UConn is still, the UConn men's team does really have something because it's not even a 10-point gap right now. So they're doing something right. They're at least keeping him at bay.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to overtake him? I don't know, but that's better.
Yeah.
At least right now.
In the
it's going to
second
be
half,
interesting though. Still 15 minutes to play though.
I mean, we'll see what happens for sure. Things can change real quickly.
In the world of sports, it escalates pretty fast. If you don't slow down and take a breath, you're going to miss something. Hashtag Ferris Bueller.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the world of the NBA. And right now, and this is why I wanted Dan on the show. I wish he was here. We have 2 injuries to the LA Lakers.
Very important injuries to the LA Lakers.
Hold on. Injuries.
Yes.
No, I think one of them is legit. I think the Luka one is legit. Austin Reeves may not be, but I'm gonna fall on the sword and say Luka's is legit. Okay, I got you, Seth.
Yeah, I think Luka's is legit too. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not. And ARs maybe as well, in my humble opinion. But do we see LeBron James? They already lost one game to OKC since when the injuries happened.
They lost a lot. Didn't they lose to Dallas too?
Lose to Dallas too. When and how do you lose to Dallas?
Well, did you see the superstar matchup between Flag and Braun?
Mm-hmm.
Flag put up 45 points. It's the first time anybody's put up, or it's the first time a teenager has put up 45 points against LeBron.
What's up, Brandon, man? Good to see you.
But you got to win that game. There's 15 teams in the Western Conference. The Mavericks are 13th.
Yep.
12. You need to
12
use
now.
12 now. How do you not win that game?
You need to use this formal name. LeBronathan.
Got it.
LeBron. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, man? But yeah, I'm just shocked. See, here's the thing that kills me, and this is why I wanted Dan on the show, is because of this. Everybody kept saying, well, Jordan couldn't do anything in his 41 year. He couldn't do anything at all with the Wizards. Okay, let's see what your king can do at 41 with that roster. Let's see.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on though. Hold on. I get what you're saying as far as team success is concerned. And to that point, you are correct. But let's not forget that statistically, if we compare LeBron this season to Jordan's age 41 season, LeBron's numbers are better.
Okay.
So that part there is a difference because LeBron is playing better than Jordan, but did the Wizards get third, fourth in the West?
Wizards didn't have it. Was that
Wizards
Washington
didn't have
team,
a number 2.
That Washington team didn't have a Luka. That Washington team didn't even have an AR.
No,
you had an overrated Jerry Stackhouse.
Yep. At that time, Rip Hamilton wasn't Rip Hamilton.
No.
I still think that it's these games don't matter. They know they're going to the postseason. They're resting.
They need to keep that third seed.
Yeah, because if they go number 4, they can fall as far as 5. With 4 games left, they can go 50 and 32. They could fall as far as 6th.
Okay. If they fall, let's say they fall to 5.
Okay. They are getting
playoff.
They are getting Denver or Houston.
They're getting Denver or Houston. Okay.
Or Houston.
What's up, Brett? Welcome to the stream.
6, they're looking more like
I will give them a puncher's chance against Houston because they don't have a point guard on that roster. But
they got with KD.
But
KD's gonna outperform LeBron.
He should.
And then the depth that the Rockets have, who is it? Sapenga and Thompson they'll even out with Luka. And then you got Austin Reeves. There's 2 people on Houston who can score as many points as Austin Reeves.
Oh yeah. They're talented, but I just say lack of a point guard might make these games a little bit closer for that team. But if you're going to get past Houston, listen, you ain't beating the Nuggets with the way they're playing right now.
No.
You're not beating the Spurs, and you definitely ain't beating OKC.
If they draw 4 or 5, if they win that 4 or 5 matchup, they have to play Oklahoma City. And they're not beating Oklahoma City.
No.
What if they make it past the second round? They have overstayed what their glass ceiling was for this season.
Right.
Let's be honest here. It's they're going to make it through the first round. Realistically, it's not unreasonable to expect them to make it through the first round. But that second round, they're going to get probably the Spurs or OKC or something similar.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the end of their road because they're not beating either one of those teams.
Unless
Brett
one of those
that.
2 teams completely fall off.
Brett said that handle the Rockets.
Well, so here how the standings stand right now. The Lakers and the Nuggets are tied at 50 and 28, with the Lakers owning the tiebreakers. So the Lakers at the point right now are at 3 with 4 games to play. The Rockets sit at 49 and 29, so they're only a game back. They also have 4 games to play. And then the Timberwolves are behind them with 4 games to play as well. So those 4 teams are fighting between 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because Houston, Oklahoma City, and San Antonio have 1 and 2 lockdown. It's just a matter of Oklahoma City winning 2 of their next 4 and hoping San Antonio doesn't win 3 of their next 4. Because Oklahoma City has a 3-game lead on the Spurs with 4 to play. So Spurs lose 1. It could be, or Spurs lose 2, and it's definitely done. But no, I'm in agreement. I don't think whoever the Lakers match up with in the first round, they're going to burn themselves out. They're not going to have enough for the Spurs or the Thunder.
Yeah.
I agree. Now, let me ask you,
Guardy, I will say this: the Lakers, only have a 2-game home winning span better than away. They're 26 and 12 at home, and they're 24 and 16 on the road. So I think they'll play fine no matter whether they're playing on the road or have to play at home.
Well, but I mean, if you can be at home,
yeah, you want that home court advantage.
Arena, you want home for that.
Let me ask y'all this: with that big game, 45 points by Cooper Flag, that make him unanimous Rookie of the Year?
No, I don't think it gets unanimous, but he's still Rookie of the Year.
Pretty close, but no, pretty close, but
you're not giving it to him just yet.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, Cooper's been the only rookie that people are talking about. I don't know who else is a big rookie that could go. It's definitely not going to be Bronny James 2.0. So
Bronny James.
Yeah.
Bronny James. Bro, it's time for Bronny to step up, boy. James, he got him and LeBron got to step it up.
Yep.
They're just pacing themselves until Bryce gets up there, so they can just run an NBA team by themselves.
You guys heard LeBron give congrats to Arizona for having the great season that they had, and it's a picture of Bryce James on the court. Like, he didn't even play much in the tournament. How is King LeBronathan going? Yeah, Arizona won because my son. No, your team won because he was on the bench, bro. That's
yeah. All right, let me ask y'all this. We have the NBA Hall of Fame 2026 inductions coming up. I'm trying to figure some of these names I get, some of these I don't.
Before we start, I will absolutely agree with Candace Parker. I'm kind of on the fence with Amari. And I'm kind of on the fence with Elena Deladon. Those I'm okay with Candace. The other two big ones which I saw were Amari Stoudemire and Elena Deladon. Those two I think are kind of questionable.
Are we putting Doc Rivers in this? For real?
If he buys a ticket to go see it, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. How much 7 on that?
Like this is a legitimate question. Like, what is the argument for Doc Rivers being in the Hall of Fame? What is the argument? What the people that argue for it? Like, I don't know if we need to get Zoe in here because I know she's a big Doc Rivers fan. But no, like, seriously, what is the argument for Doc Rivers being in the Hall of Fame? I'm legitimately curious because I don't see, like, to me it seems like he's the Buck Showalter of NBA coaches, and Buck Showalter is not going to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, not at this point.
This was their answer when I typed in Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2026. It says Doc Rivers, NBA coach with Orlando, Boston, LA Clippers, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. 2008 NBA champion, 2000 NBA coach of the year. Apparently, to make it to the Hall of Fame, all you got to do is coach 5 different teams, get 1 NBA championship, and get 1 coach of the year. So that means for all you guys out there, become an NBA coach as long as you need to, as long as you get 1 ring and you make 1 coach of the year, you can make it to the Hall of Fame and you can make a name for yourself. Will, you still got a shot. You're only, 42? You still have a shot to make it to the NBA Hall of Fame.
I still think, because this is what, at least I'm going to take this from Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless said a couple years ago that everybody gets in the NBA Hall of Fame.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least the Basketball Hall of Fame anyway, because there is there a difference between the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and the NBA Hall of Fame? Or is it just everybody gets in one shrine and that's it?
I think they're two. I think they're 2 different Hall of Fames.
I'm gonna check real quick. Hold on.
I think they're 2 different Hall of Fames. Because if you look at internationally, Tony Kukoc is a Hall of Famer internationally. But I believe it's 2 different Hall of Fames. Help us out, chat.
Nope, they are not the same. They are closely related, but they are not the same.
I thought so. I thought so.
Doc Rivers will make it to the Basketball Hall of Fame, but not the
Right.
NBA Hall of Fame.
Not
which
the NBA
doesn't
Hall
make
of Fame.
sense.
I thought they were different. Yeah.
So, but the other names that are included in the Hall of Fame list for you people that do not know, Joey Crawford, who was an NBA referee for 39 years between 1997 and 2016, officiating 2,500 regular season games and 375 playoff games, and was one of the top officials for NBA Finals, making it to 50. Amari Stoudemire, obviously, as we spoke, he was a former Phoenix Sun and New York Knick, 6-time NBA All-Star. Go ahead.
No, okay. Read his accolades for me, please.
Six-time NBA All-Star, 2003 Rookie of the Year, had a 14-year career in the NBA with 21.4 points per game and 8.9 rebounds per game.
So it's all big one Hall of Fame, Brett? Just one big hall, everything in one building? Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so
and the Miami Heat.
I'm a Suns fan, so I have a lot of appreciation for Amari Stoudemire. I watched him play. I love his talent. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I would say he should be in the Suns Ring of Honor. Absolutely, that should be.
Honestly, I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, but I mean NBA Hall of Fame, probably not.
I just he did a 6-time All-Star is great. Rookie of the Year is great, but I mean, I didn't even hear multiple Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, MVPs, rings, none of those top tier accolades that you would expect.
Other
for
male
a Hall
player or the other male coaches is Mark. Yeah, the other person on the male side of things is Mark Few. He's the Gonzaga head coach, has been since 1999. Leading the Bulldogs to the NCAA championship game appearance in 2017 and 2021. Has made 26 straight tournament berths and currently has 773 wins. Women's side of things, they did the 1996 women's national team for the United States, which was undefeated in the gold medal games. Pivotal in launching the WNBA. What's that?
They should have been in a long time ago. That team was that the entire reason the WNBA actually exists is because of that team.
Yep.
They should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Elena Delle Donne, I know she played with the Washington Mystics, 7-time WNBA All-Star, all 7 years concurrently between 2013 and 2019, and then she was 2013 to 2019 All-NBA second team, All WNBA second team. I'm going to butcher this name, and I'm sorry. Kamiku Holtzclaw. She had a 11-year WNBA career. 7-time All-Star, was the 2023 WNBA MVP. And then, as I stated before, Candace Parker, 2-time WNBA MVP, 3-time WNBA champion with 3 different teams. The LA Sparks, the Chicago Sky, and the Las Vegas Aces. And she was the 2008 Rookie of the Year.
I ain't got no problem with Kamika Holtzclaw getting in.
No.
I really don't have an issue with Amari because he did play 14 seasons, averaged 18 points a game, finished up his career 18 points a game. 7, I see where you coming from too, though, because it's not like he has the accolades of several-time Defensive Player of the Year or anything like that.
Which, I mean, like Brett said, there wasn't going to be a Defensive Player of the Year for Amari Stoudemire. Maybe like an Offensive Player of the Year or a shooting title, something.
Or let's say five NBA first teams, I think would be
something. Yeah. I think the resume falls short. And again, I agree about Suns Ring of Honor. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He should be in the Suns Ring of Honor. I agree with that. But I also think that we have to, the standard for the NBA for the Basketball Hall of Fame should be higher.
Agreed.
And when I will say, when I saw that Candace Parker was going in and Kamika Holtzclaw, I started back to go back and look and see who else was in as far as women's basketball players. And there's definitely like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swopes, stuff like that. I would bet that as soon as Diana Taurasi, because she only retired a couple years ago, so I would assume a year or two from now she'll be a unanimous entrant.
Sue Bird as well. She's not already in.
Sue Bird. She's not, but I would assume that she will be pretty pretty quickly.
She should be next.
I would say it would be her. I would bet it's going to be her next year, and then
Diana Taurasi.
Taurasi should be the season after that when she's eligible, because pretty sure Sue Bird retired a year before.
2021
Taurasi.
is when she retired.
So, and I think Taurasi didn't retire until after the 2022 season.
Brett, you wrong for that, man. Brett, you
What's
wrong
that?
for that. You wrong for that, Brett. You wrong for that, Brett.
He'll be inducted because he's the one that got put COVID on the map, saying that it doesn't exist.
The guy that works at Wendy's would be excited about a French fry. I agree.
Yeah, but I'm looking at Sue Bird's accolades on Wikipedia, and it almost takes up my entire page. 4-time WNBA champion, 13-time All-Star, 5-time All WNBA first team, 3-time second team, assist leader, 3 different. Yeah, she's. Yeah.
You see, that's a resume. That's a resume that's worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And the fact that she has her jersey number retired for both the Yukon Huskies and the Seattle Storm before she's even in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I got to agree, man. The Suns were a different team that year.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Brett. And I get what you're saying in terms of the class he was a part of, but let's not forget what pre-injury Amari looked like. He was incredible. Am I saying he's better? Am I saying he's better than Tim? I'm not saying he's better than Tim Duncan. I'm not saying that. But in his own right, that man was incredible. With the Suns and the Knicks.
I think Stoudemire was what's the word? He was a product of the design that he was playing, because D'Antoni put him in the right spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think when he moved, when he got traded from the Suns to the Knicks, I don't feel like he really upheld his potential, because they kept him as kind of that natural big. And I think he was kind of more of that roaming four, where he could space the floor a little bit and you want him inside. But in New York, I mean, he was a post player. Like, you can't just have him be inside post. Work him around, and that's where he got his. That's where he was most dangerous, was running around the court.
He knew how to move around the court. He was definitely accurate with his shots. He didn't throw up. I would say that there was definitely like almost like some Tim Duncan meets Steph Curry in a way, just because of the way that he played the game. And again, not saying he's better than either player. I'm not sacrilegious, but there were elements of their games and what you could see with what Amari did. He was a great shooter, and I agree that it was difficult to look at like an offensive player of the year and MVP because of the group that he came up with, like Brett said.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
I mean, you still have to have a higher standard. There's guys that were really great at baseball that have been outshined by the players that they played around. Alex Gordon of the Kansas City Royals, I'll give you a prime example. Alex Gordon will not ever be a Hall of Fame player because of the standard that was set by the other players in his group, and especially at his position. He was a great player. Kansas City does not win that World Series in 2015 without Alex Gordon. But he wasn't in that tier. He was just near the top of the Hall of Very Good. And that's how I feel about Amari Stoudemire.
I want to go back real quick before we move on to the NFL. And you also brought this up a little bit earlier with the coaching moves. But the Bulls made some front office moves today.
Yes, they did.
They got rid of their general manager, and
they fired their VP.
They also fired their VP of basketball operations. Yep. So maybe now the Bulls can start putting things together.
Hopefully. We'll see what happens. Yeah. As of 2:40 p.m. Eastern time, so 1:40 for most of us here in the Central Time Zone, Jerry Reinsdorf and his son Michael made the executive decision to fire Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations Arturas Karnovasavasa, however you say his last name. Cool.
That's
whatever.
a hard name.
And then Mark Eversley, who was the general manager. In their 6 seasons since they took over in 2021, they went 224, 254 across 6 seasons. They achieved only one winning season in 2021, 2022, which is the only season that they made the playoffs, which was a 5-game first-round exit. That's the last time that the Bulls were in first place in the Eastern Conference, by the way. I don't believe so. I wouldn't want Jaden Ivey on my team after the shit that he said. He can rot out there in the middle of Lake Michigan for all I care. You know, the shit like that doesn't need to be said.
Nope. I agree.
Absolutely not. No.
I agree.
Yeah, so that was announced by Bulls part-time owner Michael Reinsdorf in a statement. These decisions are never easy, especially when it's involving people we respect both personally and professionally. That's bullshit because you're Reinsdorf. You don't respect anybody professionally. Look at what you did to Jerry Krause. Also, fuck Jerry Krause. We're grateful for their dedication and their work that they put in over the last 6 years. At the same time, we are not happy with the success, and given the success that our fans deserve, it's my responsibility to go in a message. My only question is, why did you wait until there was 4 games left in the season?
Right.
Like,
right.
This should have been a decision you made after you made all their trades at the trade deadline. Or just say fuck it and let them have the last 4 games and then fire him at the end of the season. Also, Brett, fuck you. We do not want Billy Donovan. I really thought as soon as this came across ESPN this morning, I was like, cool, we're gonna fire Billy Donovan. And then I was like, dude, with 4 games left to play, that's really dumb. Just keep him the rest of the season and that's fine. But now it sounds like the Reinsdorf want to negotiate a long-term contract with Billy Donovan because according to Shams, who first reported this, I guess they said the new management wants a chance to keep Billy Donovan there because Billy wants to be there, quote, as long as he wants to be there, which scares the shit out of me.
Heck yeah.
Right? No, we want Billy completely
gone.
Burn it to the ground, right? You saw Spider in the United Center.
You want him out.
Burn it all to the ground. Burn it to the ground.
Do you know what the record was for the Bulls during that tenure? The record, 224 to 254.
Yeah.
Bulls are 12th in the Eastern Conference at 29 and 49. And missing the playoff for the 4th straight year.
Yep.
So hold on. That makes it even, like, if you think about the fact that they're missing the playoffs for the 4th straight year, that makes the tenure of the GM and the VP of basketball operations look even worse, because that means it was their 2nd year taking over the team. They hadn't even really gotten a full imprint on the team yet. That was still a chunk of that team was still what was built before they got there.
Yep.
And they continued to dismantle it. So that makes their tenure look even worse to me.
Brett, you also forgot about Nikolai Vujovic as well, because he was a part of that team.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get something positive going down. We shall see. We shall see. All right. 7. What MLB news you got for us?
Well,
if any.
Let me hold on.
Can I start?
My Mets are tied for first in the NL East. We'll see how long that lasts.
Mariners got their first home run from Cal Raleigh tonight.
You know what? I saw the alert for that. I haven't watched the video on it yet. He had like 24, 25 strikeouts before he got his first home run.
Yeah.
But I mean, Stan pointed this out last week as I was thinking about this stuff with Cal Raleigh. Aaron Judge going into the beginning of May last season was hitting like 111.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Hopefully they hit that draft pick, Brett.
I'm hoping.
For me, like with Cal Raleigh, like I haven't been worried about it simply because I don't think that there's a huge issue right now with where he's at. Mm-hmm. He'll get there.
Yeah. We're 10 games into a 160 game season. He's got time. He's got time.
And then you look at there's a few teams right now though that are actually like kind of like legitimately surprising me. And we kind of talked a little bit about it last week, but the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Marlins are, I mean, in that division.
That division's going to be scary.
Yes and no. It's a lot of it comes from the fact that you've got, because if the Marlins are playing all season like they're playing right now, you could have, instead of having those 3 wild card seats come from the NL West,
yeah,
you could have 2 or 3 of those coming from the NL East.
Yeah,
Fact.
And the Braves, the Braves are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year,
as long as they can stay healthy.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. As long as they can stay healthy.
Yep.
But that's their big thing is they gotta get Spencer Strider back. They got a couple of guys that got to get back still. As long as they stay healthy, because right now they have one of the best run differentials in the league, and I think they have the 3rd best run differential in the league, and they're actually 3rd in their division. So they're scoring runs, they're keeping opponents from scoring.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't finish the way that they should, and so 6-4 to start the season. That's not that bad. Same for the Mets.
You're talking about the Braves with the 2nd best run differential, right?
3rd best, yes.
3rd best. Well, as of right now, yeah, 3rd best because the Dodgers have 32 and the Brewers have 30. That's not including the 4-1, or no, they're down 4-1. Never mind. I thought I saw the Angels at the Braves, but no, it's the Braves at the Angels, and they're down 4-1 right now.
But there's going to be a little bits of ups and downs. I think that squad's got some growing pains to go through still because of the roster changes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the Mets are definitely working in a right direction. They're on a 3-game heater right now. Little small winning streak to start the season is never a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
The Pittsburgh Pirates aren't dog shit right now.
Played like dog shit today.
But I talked about this morning in the Morning Minute. And I want to say this again because I think that as I came up with this morning as I was doing research. We're going to talk about this more on Wednesday night on Podcast Name Deferred. But the Pirates have an O'Neal Cruz problem. O'Neal Cruz, even getting back out of the outfield, he is an absolutely horrible player defensively. But he's got a .314 batting average. The dude gets up to the plate and fucking rakes. Marcell Ozuna, who was on the Braves last year, Marcell Ozuna is the Pirates DH right now.
Jesus.
He's hitting .074.
0.65 as of tonight.
Excuse me, I was overshooting it. That must be that was this morning. 0.74 was this morning. So
he's at 0.65 after today's 0-for-4 performance. The Pirates did lose today 5-0 to the Padres.
Right. So but my thing is you trade Marcell Ozuna for a concession stand worker to be named later.
And a ticket. Get a ticket. You want a ticket to a ball game.
You had a ticket to a ball game. And then you turn around, you move O'Neal Cruz to DH. You can move him to a defensive position if there's an injury and you need to.
Right.
But you give him time to kind of step back and work on fundamentals because his issues are fundamental. Like he lacks fundamental reliability. That's the problem. And so you give him time to step back and work on that. They have a guy that's sitting on their bench. His name is Jake Mangum or Jacob Mangum, something like that. John Mangum. I know the last name's Mangum. And he's hitting like 280 right now. When he actually gets to play, he's hitting like 280 to start the season. He hit like 280 last year. The kid's consistent. And last year he played in 108 games.
Are you talking Jake Magnum? Sorry, I cannot read today, guys. I'm sorry.
It's Mangum, isn't it? I did read
that.
It's
Mangum. Mangum.
It is. Okay. Yeah, Jake Mangum. He's hitting like 280 to start the season. He hit 280 last year. And that was over 108 games. So that's not a small sample size.
Yeah.
He should be playing in left. You move Brian Reynolds over to center because he played in center and he's played center before. He did well in 2021. He played center and he hit like over 300. So you can move him into a position where he's still going to do well defensively and he's still going to hit well. It's not going to throw him off his bat.
No.
You get Jake Mangum out there, get his bat in that lineup, and get rid of your weakest player in Marcell Ozuna. That is a steady uptick. I would bet you're going to add at least 1 to 2 runs per game. And if you look at the scoring, the games that they've lost, with the exception of I would say at least a couple of those have been closer games.
Yeah.
That makes the difference between seeding right now. Yeah. So I think that like, is there another solution that I'm not seeing with these guys? Is there a trade that they should be making outside of just firing Marcell Ozuna off into the sun or something? Like, what else is there that they could do? Because this is actually a team that could do something this year.
Yeah.
And Pirates fans deserve that.
Facts.
I would say even their opening day loss, they lost 11-7. Like this game against the Padres was the worst run differential that they've had this year, losing by 5 runs.
Yep.
But their other games that they lost, which was 2 of the 3 games at Citi Field against the Mets, they lost 11-7 in that horrible game by Skeens, and then they lost 4-2.
That wasn't even Skeens' fault. That was O'Neal Cruz defensively that caused 2 or 3 of those runs to start the game that threw Skeens off and chased him out of there before the end of the first inning. That loss is on O'Neal Cruz, not Paul Skeens.
And then they lost 2-0 to start the series against the Reds, which they came back with back-to-back 8-3 wins. So you're right, Seven. A small tweak in the lineup is all it would take.
There is, and Ando, you'll get to meet him at some point if he's putting out another book this year. But there's a gentleman that we have on podcast named Deferred every year. His name's Arthur T. Waldo. He's a baseball historian author, and he lives in Pittsburgh. So he shares a lot of information about the history of Pittsburgh. And if you want to know where the real problem in sports gambling was in baseball, it wasn't with the Black Sox. It was with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the early 1910, 1920. It was the Pirates. They were actually a lot worse. Players were getting beat up by mobsters. Players were getting chased out of town by mobsters because of game results. So there is a lot of history for that organization, but these modern fans, they haven't seen a lot of success out of the Pirates recently. And so I fully support, especially because they're not in my division. So I don't give a fuck. And that I think that division, because of the fact that it's the Central, both of the Centrals are open for pretty much everybody in a year anyway. And while I think the Cubs are going to take it, if the Pirates keep playing like they do, it's going to be theirs to take. And just a small tweak in that lineup, and you've got a lineup that's producing like the other division leaders in the league, and that makes them a lot more scary.
I got you. You got you.
Let's see. There was one other thing that I was looking at. I am a little disappointed by how the A's are starting out because there's supposed to be a lot more potential on that team. The Mets announced that they plan to retire Carlos Beltran's number 15 on September 19th.
Awesome.
Will, what do you think about that one?
I'm thinking that's fair. He was my favorite player, but I'm thinking that's fair. Yeah. I'll still go back to the days of Darryl Strawberry. I'll still go
Dwight Gooden.
Dwight Gooden. Days.
Yeah.
Back in them days. Woo.
The Rays are back to playing in Tropicana Field and will not be playing anymore in.
Oh shit!
Really?
In the Yankees spring training field.
Really?
And they won their first game back in the Trop.
Yeah. Okay. Beat the Cubs today 6-4.
Okay.
Let me see here. It cost nearly $60 million to replace the roof and rebuild the Trop after Hurricane Milton. Was that Hurricane Milton?
Yeah, Milton.
Yeah, Hurricane Milton damaged the ballpark.
Yeah.
It was the final was put in place actually tail end of November,
and
they made some upgrades as well. So I mean, it's definitely while they look at whether or not they're going to be staying in Tampa Bay, or they're going to get a new stadium, they are at least playing in some slightly better facilities, and the Trop is a hitter's ballpark. So I'm actually really happy about that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's gonna work out well for them. I feel like
a team definitely needs its home ballpark for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Considering that they sold out the ballpark at 25,000, which is really good.
They actually, what's crazy is they're kind of like the Rockies in that they do pretty well for ticket sales, despite not having a lot of results, because you get some tourist business in there, but also it's just a really good spot to go watch a game, and the air conditioning's on, and when that heat is kicking your ass down there in Florida, spending $40 to go sit inside a baseball field and just have a chill environment, watch some guys do some shit, and really just sit and drink and enjoy the AC. Why not? They do all right with ticket sales.
So fun fact, the Rays don't often draw well, but it is their 20th consecutive season where they sold out their home opener, obviously excluding the 2020 season when fans weren't allowed to attend because of COVID-19. 20 years though, you sell out your home opener. That's a dedicated fan base right there.
Well, I mean, they're not that dedicated because they don't come in, because you think about the Rays, they're one of the most successful players of Moneyball in Major League Baseball. Yeah. And they've gotten lineups. They put lineups together with names that most people have never heard of or they thought were washed, and won 100 plus games. So and that's the part that frustrates me, is because they'll have that gap in the middle of the season when they're doing well, and most teams are getting support because they're doing well. And that's when they have their dip in ticket sales. And it's what are you guys doing?
So that's kind of cool. So the Rays today with the opening of their stadium debuted the newly renovated Cow-Nose Clubhouse, which is the home to the 7 Cow-Nose Stingrays from the Florida Aquarium who weathered through Hurricane Milton. After the storm, the Stingrays were returned to the Florida Aquarium. In January, they were at the TECO Manatee Viewing Center at Apollo Beach, Florida, before they made their return to the permanent home at Tropicana Field ahead of the opener. That's freaking awesome that they have the Stingrays there while the games are going on.
Real quick.
And they had them before. Those were ones that they had there. They wrote out the hurricane issues, and then
I didn't know they had Stingrays there, man.
Yeah, that's been a thing for them for a while. It's really cool. I've seen pictures of it. It's really legit. You can get pretty close to them.
Nice. What's up, Will?
Real quick, I did forget to pass along this information. You kind of brought it up pre-show. The Chicago Sky traded two-time player Angel Reese to the Atlanta Dream. I don't know. Seven, go ahead.
Here's my question. This was brought up I don't know if it was in the Meaty Boys Discord or it was in our Wire to Wire chat. I can't remember which one it was, but somebody brought up a question. Why did Chicago trade picks in the expansion draft and say, you can't take any of our players, and then trade away Angel Reese anyway?
I don't get that.
That makes no sense to me. Because what if you're going to get rid of Angel Reese, why are you trading back?
Right.
What is it? I mean, is there a player that you know for a fact is going to be where you traded back to, and that's why you were just trying to build out?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they going to use those first round picks and trade up?
It's possible. But the move that they made with those picks is to me, it's questionable.
It's like you getting rid of an elite rebounder for what could or what if in this deal. And say what you want about Amy. Yeah. And say what you want. She has gotten better in terms of rebounding, and her passing has gotten better too.
Absolutely.
And again, this helps. I get why you do it for the Dream, because it gives you help along with Howard and Gray. But still, I don't know, man. You better hope that draft pick hit.
And I think That's where Chicago's at, man.
Yeah, you better hope that draft pick hit. Because say what you want, I'd rather keep someone established on the board and make you have to account for her than getting somebody who would have maybe middle to low impact.
Hold on. So I'm going to argue that, Will, because last year the Sky went 10-34 overall. They went 1-13 without her, which, yeah, Chicago didn't have. Besides Haley Van Lith, who they drafted in the draft last year, they didn't have anybody else. Like Chicago didn't have anybody. Is having a player of that stature, and I'm not saying that Angel Reese isn't a bad rebounder. I definitely don't want her being my number one scorer. Because all she's going to do is brick it off the rim, brick it off the backboard, and brick it off the sanction that the backboard is on, and brick it off the concession guy that's walking around with cotton candy before she gets her rebound and scores again. Is the media attention that she gets some positive, but most we hear is negative. Is that worth the 9-21 record that she was worth on the court?
Here's where I will say yes. And here's where I'm going to say no. I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say no is not because of anything to do with Angel's talent, perception, good or bad, regardless of where your opinion is.
Yeah.
When your team sucks as a whole, just the whole pie
caboodle
of shit.
Yep.
Okay. But you've got all of this media attention on you because of one player. It can be a little bit more difficult because you're constantly hearing about that shit pie.
Yeah.
And if you know it's going to be 2 seasons before that shit pie is no longer sitting on the stove ready to eat, you may want to make a choice to move off of that player simply so that you can reduce those distractions and focus on the rebuild, focus on the fundamentals with your younger players, establish that new culture, and go through a true rebuild. And a player like Angel, if she stays while you're going through the rebuild, she's going to dictate that culture.
Right.
Okay.
She's going to dictate the pace of play. A lot of those things are going to come back onto her as the attention because she's the senior player, because she has the most attention and all of that. So it's not bad for an athlete to have attention like that. I want to be perfectly clear on that. Even yes, and I include female athletes in that. What I am saying is when you are running a team that is dog shit, that attention takes on a different weight and becomes the bad kind of distraction, whether the perception of the player is good or bad. So that could have been something that swayed their decision to move her, because Atlanta is going to be in a good position to succeed with that roster. And I would be willing to bet when they get done with the draft, they're going to look even better. And you're going to have 2 really good scorers. You're going to have an elite ball handler, elite passer, elite rebounder in Angel Reese. That's success. That's success, especially with the talent that you're going to be facing at the top of the tier now.
Right.
I think that this does benefit both of them, specifically because Atlanta can handle the spotlight because they've got enough that it's actually going to distribute a little bit more than it will in Chicago, where she is the spotlight.
Right.
And they can focus on rebuilding.
All right, everybody. That is going to be our time for tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody at Wire Network for having us here tonight. We are about to end the stream, but before we end the stream, we will show you some of our shows that you can catch here on Wire Network. Let me go ahead and load that up real quick. Got it? All right. So you're going to be seeing some of those shows that we have available for you on Wire Network. 7, if you could, close us out.
We want to thank you for watching Sports Report Podcast tonight on Wire Sports Network. Wire Sports is a part of this.
Try that again, Sam. Try that again.
Sports Report Podcast is a part of the Wire Sports Network that has shows every morning and evening hosted by individuals that want to share their experience, their thoughts, their opinions with you. And they want to hear from you as well. That's why we do ask you to like, comment, subscribe, engage with us. We appreciate it. We always love to get those interactions, except from Damien. We are here every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch Ando and I Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern with podcast named Deferred, talking all things baseball. Like I said, we're going to be talking about O'Neal Cruz this week, along with some other stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes. We appreciate you, and we thank you for tuning in to us tonight. We'll see you next week on Sports Report Podcast. Have a good night, everybody.